Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Battle Brothers Season 3. As today, we find ourselves back in Agerstead. Yeah, we left off in Helvik, but, prices weren't ideal. And we pretty thoroughly cleared this region, so I went ahead and hopped over to Agerstead instead, with a brief pass through Oberberg as well, just to do a full restock, sell off excess goods, etc. Get us into a good start position, so to speak. And that does indeed put us just one hop out from Tonder, which will be our next stop to collect our pay. And then, honestly, from there, just to avoid being distracted again, we're going to book it straight south through the mountain pass and... Oh, hold that thought. While on the march, you find a drunken nobleman tottering side to side on the path. Mussy is the name of his hair. Leaves and grass and what looks like bird shit swept up in it, like someone stirred the ingredients to a prank. But his clothes sweep about with the finest of silks, and his fingers glisten with jewelry. He has a bottle in each hand, and he swings them around as he sings gibberish pub songs. He is in all regards the greatest magnet for a mugging you've ever seen. Revenant purses his lips and looks like a wolf, staring at a fat sheep. I'm not saying anything, Captain. I'm just observing. That there is a lot of poorly guarded capital. A lot of capital which could be put to much better use by more intelligent men. Yeah, you get the general gist of what he's suggesting. Well, I'm not super comfortable just straight up robbing a guy, but... Trip, any thoughts here? As you approach the drunkard, a sharp whistle cracks across the path. You and the drunkard both look to see Trip the thief, standing there with a weapon to the back of another man. That feller's no nobleman, and probably ain't no drunk, neither. They're working together to either ambush travelers or threaten them with blackmail. They're robbers, sir. You look back to see the man smiling nervously. He explains with sudden, sharpened clarity. We've no interest in robbing sellswords, sir. I swear I was about to explain myself as soon as I saw your swords. Trip yells out, asking where the cash is. You look back at the man and tell him to hand over everything he's stolen. He nods and asks if you'll gut him if he refuses. You nod and tell him that the gutting will come last, and by that point, it'll be a relief. The man puts a little pep in his step. Yes, sir. Gotcha, sir. Right this way. Hey. Well, that I feel much less morally conflicted about. Nicely done, Trip. And passing through Tonder, you quickly collect your pay. Then immediately leave town before you can get caught up in any more of the nobles' nonsense. I see that one, Skull. It is tempting, but we really do need to get back south. Gotta get those guns online. So yes, as I was saying before, we'll push down the right edge of the map here through the mountains, and then we have a straight shot along Barham Valley, right to Westerholz, where we can pick up our quality wood for Mark. And then once we're there, we can reevaluate. Probably due west, out into Orc territory, for our current ambition, but also there is something else out there I'd like to finally take a closer look at. Tap the mountains, get a quick bird's eye. Wow, nothing. Okay. Really would have expected... Well, just as well, I suppose. Straight to Westerholz, then. Or Westerhalls. And here we be. 1 skull standard, 2 skull noble. Hunting season and missing people. We will absolutely take 1 unit of quality wood. And might as well stock up on food while we're here. Not seeing anything else we need, though. Let's check the 1 skull. Reinhard the Counselor welcomes you and walks you toward Westerhall Square. There's a party of peasants milling about, talking about creatures tall as any man, wearing armor, with spears as sharp as a peddler's tongue. Reinhard the Counselor quickly explains that there is a place just southeast, by name of the Dark Vault, wherein they seek the Forefathers' Standard, a relic held dearly to the townsfolk. Okay, so nothing we haven't done before. Yeah, we can do that. It's only a 1 skull, so quick, easy cash. On your way out of Westerholz, you find a group of laymen standing around a wooden platform. Thinking there's a hanging to be seen, you quickly push through the crowd. What you find instead is a queerly dressed man barking out news to the townsfolk. "Harkon! Harkon! Harkon! A determination has been made between the noble houses Hedin and Harkon. They have come to a conclusion all sides can agree upon. They hate one another." Nervous whispers wrinkle the crowd. As the volume builds, the whispers crescendo into hushes. The minstrel continues. "That is right, my fair folk. War is upon us. Ah, yes, that fickle beast which lies dormant in all men. A sad affair, a righteous affair, an honorable one." An old man standing in front of you grumbles and spits. He leaves, shaking his head and murmuring to himself. The minstrel presses on, his excitement not matching the terrified faces before him. "Let us not dawdle on ceremony. I've been instructed to speak thusly. Men, take up arms where you can, plow the fields while you don't. Women, raise your sons right, lest they may raise the sword all wrong." Finally, the minstrel takes a great, big breath. "And for those among you who wish to earn a good crown or two, the noble houses are looking for the fine services of any man who can swing a sword. Those among you of lesser honor, you bridal loosers, bride stealers, leech sellers, smell smocks, ne'er-do-wells, vice-obsessed and run amok, brigands, bandits, and thieving graduates, you sickly and poisoned, moistened and cursed and rabid, the cured and vapid sellswords and poets selling words. This, my fine genteel men, is your time. Go out there, fight for the nobles, and earn yourselves a new life. A shame that a war shan't last forever, so best do it quick." It looks as though the RetconRaider's future just got brighter on account of the loads of gold you're about to be earning. For war never changes. But war can wait, because we're already on contract. But I suppose we can at least get a gander at the key players here. House Goswin, of course, we know. They're the ones we're furthest along with, though that's not really saying much. And then House Harkon, traitors, so I'm immediately predisposed towards them. Doubly so since House Hedin seems to be religious cultists. It's just Harkon and Hedin for the moment, but it's only a matter of time before Goswin gets involved as well. But for the short term, given that we're headed south anyway, I think we can just completely ignore House Goswin. And yeah, we'll stay focused on helping House Harkon, the traders. Though I do notice we have this one road here which does have one of each noble house's fortifications on it. That's actually very convenient. But alas, that will have to wait at least a little longer, for I have my eyes set on slightly more exotic fare, which is thankfully right next to a Harkon town, so I'm sure we can make that work too. That said, let's grab that standard real quick, then we'll set our sights west. Oh, and then this is, given the descriptive text, this is almost certainly ancient legionaries, so let's make sure we're properly kitted for that. It's only a 1 skull, so I mean, it's likely to primarily be auxiliary, which even a rookie could handle. It's just, you know, you don't want to take that chance. Even a single ancient legionary can ruin your day. Right, we should pull the crossbowmen. No point in having them for skeletal targets. Though we will leave Arrow. He can still suppress if nothing else. And then we'll go wide on the front line. Alright, let's do this. Arriving at the ruins, you expected some bandits to be footing about. Instead, retrieving the Forefather Standard could not have been easier. At least that's what you thought, before a throng of armored undead emerged, yelling about the false king and demanding your head on a platter. To arms! Oh, goodness. Many ancient legionaries, that's pretty rough for a 1 skull. I am very glad we took the time to swap out the rookies. Honestly, if I'd realized it would be, oops, all legionaries, then I might have pulled Rax as well. He's capable. He's just not, I think, ready to dodge multiple pikes per turn. But we'll be careful. We'll be careful with positioning. The Ancient Legion moves forward in literal lockstep, an inexorably advancing tide of bronze and bone that only falters as the raiders finally crash upon it. The clatter of axes thunk through moldering bronze, shear through bones beneath. Diego and Verlin move in, framing the formation on north and south. Forcing shieldmen back, exposing the deadlier pikemen beyond. Rax is under threat by 2, but closer ones an easy kill. And Random rushes forward. Bronze and bone scattering as he bodily smashes through the first of the Forsaken figures. Drakiith hacking one apart as well. Arrows patter into pitted plate, followed by the much heftier thunk of axes. The Raiders' confidence soars as their efforts are met with swift success. A sweep of Revenant's billhook, decapitating another. The armor may be sturdy, he growls, but the centuries-old connective tissues, less so. So you're saying to just smash the armor? I think I can do that. Oh, goodness. A broad-tapered pike finds its way past Diego's shield, piercing muscle between ribs. A bit less yapping and more smashing, please, the pained peddler pleads. And the raiders quickly comply. Another falls to Rax's axe. Another neath Rev's billhook. Ah, shoot, I was hoping to push it back. Alright, fine, we'll just smash it. Hang in there, Diego. And bit by bit, the final bony figure is smashed apart. With Drakiith delivering the final, finishing blow. Whew, goodness. Just goes to show you never want to get too confident. All it takes is one critical hit to ruin a raider's day. Even a raider with 50+ defense. Alright, let's get this thing back to Reinhardt, the counselor. Diego's already double-dosed, so no potion this time out. But it does give Seymore some extra time out in the field. He's not really ready to be a proper corner man, but you know, sometimes you just gotta make do. I'm sure he'll do great. Besides, he's got Warrior to back him up. Reinhardt the counselor meets you at Town Square. You hand over the standard and collect your pay. The townsfolk around you erupt into cheers. Oh. You notice the mud a few miles back, and a few miles forward he's still there, bobbing and slinking in and out of sight. A mongrel such as he doesn't follow a band of dangerous men for no reason. Maybe someone is feeding it? I mean, if we still had McLouch with us, that would be pretty much a given. Oh, I do wish we still had him. That would be guaranteed success, but, I mean, we're gonna try anyway. Hey, nice. You decide to take a chunk of meat and approach the dog. It's skittish at first, backing away on your approach. But the aroma you have in hand is an alluring one, to be sure. The mongrel slinks back towards you, pausing here and there, eyes flicking in search of an ambush. You can see a barrel of ribs on the dog. Many days on the road have given the pup a gaunt frame. Its ears are stitched up and its tail bolted with signs of battle. This here animal knows how to fight, and that's just what it'll be doing for you from now on. Welcome aboard, Battle Brother. Always happy for another dogged ally. We'll also get you armored up immediately. And I guess toss you over to, Diego. A consolation for his recent injury. I think I believe the raider behind that particular recruit even specifically requested a dog, so I'm happy to oblige. The trick now, of course, being to put them to tactical use without ever actually getting them killed. Because if they do die, I will be very, very sad. Alright, and not really much else keeping us here in Westerholz, I think. They do have high spirits, but I don't think that's enough to offset the missing people. So, we push on. We'll head for Loundstadt next. And might as well do a little off-roading while we're at it, fill in this bit of fog. There are a number of legendary locations we have not stumbled upon yet, so hopefully as we're poking about we can uncover at least a few of them. The Ancient Spire, the Golden Goose, the Emperor's Statue. Thus far, I think we've only found the Icy Cave, plus that ancient village over yonder. And look at that. Some very unfortunate bandits. My goodness, it'll be so nice to actually fight some normal brigands after all those beasts and barbarians back north. And as ever, a great training opportunity for the rookies. Good thing, too, I suppose, since Diego's out of commission for the moment. This will be a good opportunity to shore Seymore up. as well as our aspiring gunners. That is, of course, one of our secondary goals while we're down here, to get ourselves kitted with some proper firearms. The crossbows are fun and all, but I'd much rather play with fire. Cresting a rise, the raiders found themselves face to face with a motley assortment of brigands and bandits. The tense standoff promptly shattered as Bowman puts an arrow through an errant thug's hand. Drakiith moves up next, the rest of the raiders quickly following suit. An axe flies end over end, lopping the arm off a startled spearman. Mark and Alois hunker down, crossbows trained. The witch hunter's bolt finding the wounded flailman, sending him gurgling to the ground. Oh, right at Rax, huh? Your funeral, man. I will say, awkward terrain aside, it is nice to just be fighting normal foes again. As fun as it was, taking on endless undead and the savage kings of the north. Not to mention, it's honestly probably just more profitable to fight plain old bandits. Though I wouldn't mind seeing some leaders or champions. We've only had the one thus far. The raiders zealously wade into battle, their line ragged, but their morale high. After all they have seen, the horrors they have borne witness to, such paltry foes barely pose a threat. And Bowman seeks to prove it as he carefully takes aim. And puts an arrow through an approaching shieldman's face. The man stumbling and staggering, wounded, but still walking. Though barely so, after Alois puts a bolt through his foot. And then not at all, as Mark puts one through his heart. Drakiith hooks a swordsman's neck. A fierce yank, but the foe slips free. Throat thoroughly torn, but head still attached. Rev trims a limb. Oh, and a spearman rushes in, yanking the swordsman back. Hastily taking his place. Well played. Likewise with the one-armed flailman. That's something else we need, is more folks with rotate. Perhaps not simply the shieldmen. Verlin runs a ruffian through. Malafnoy hacks one down as well. Val splits a face, then promptly puts the man out of his misery. And Rack steps up, the swordsman failing to escape his wrathful reach. Arrow takes aim. Oh. But an untimely juke puts a truly unfortunate bandit bludgeoner right in the arrow's path. Drak hacks another hooligan, though a few eyes start to stray to the archers and back. The crossbowmen move up, range finding with their initial shots. Gauging the distance and drop-off, they totally meant to miss. Val pushes past a panicked pointman. A lobbed axe splitting an archer's hand. Even as Rev cleaves the spearman behind him almost in twain. The rest of the raiders rush forward, intent on cutting off avenues of escape. While Mal and Sigmar put down the last bandit who still had some fight. The rest of the rapscallions rout, seeking to escape, but simply being bloodied for their efforts. But for those two archers, they stumble down the rise, glancing back over their shoulders, spying a head sent sailing by Drakiith's sweeping strikes. Alois drops to one knee, a careful shot dropping a beleaguered bowman. The other continues his full tilt sprint. An axe clipping his head, an ear flopping wetly to the grass. Rook casually runs the crossbowman through, then steps atop the rise, gesturing towards the last fleeing figure. Sigmar catches the gesture and nods. He knows what to do. And Warrior is unleashed. Perfect. Perfect. Warrior quickly outpaces the sprinting scoundrel, jaws locking on his tattered armor, halting his frantic flight. And the raiders take aim. With Val claiming the kill. Nicely done, raiders. I mean, obviously not much of a fight, but we'll happily take the loot and XP. Especially since that, of course, puts our rookies one step closer to being viable. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take care of Mal real quick. Level 4, so that's gifted. Base stats first. Mediocre, but not terrible. We'll take the 2 in melee, we'll take the 2 in melee defense, and then we flubbed the resolve, but I suppose we could stand to take fatigue. Bump that up over 60. And gifted. No question there. Melee, melee defense, and resolve, which he absolutely needs. He also needs health, but we can wait for max rolls on that one. Better to use gifted on things with no stars. I'll also say that while Mal is definitely rolling a bit middle of the road with his level ups thus far, he is still ahead of the curve. Pretty well on course to hit that 20-point threshold in MDef by level 7. And we are definitely back in orc territory. That's kind of what we wanted. All the more reason to go off-road, poke around a bit. Speaking of which, let's hit the pause button real quick whilst I take care of some quick bookkeeping. And we're back. Load lightened, but gold heightened. And we are going to, in fact, ignore that 2 skull. Since, yeah, although I wouldn't mind a chance to make some gold whilst punching some orcs in the process, we do not want to be beholden to having to come back to Loundstat. We're ranging afar, carving off a big chunk of this fog of war here in search of orc strongholds. And then at the southern crest of our journey, the strange village awaits. I've never actually done that before, so I'm very curious to see what horrors it has to offer. Though that, of course, we'll have to wait for next time. I imagine we'll find at least 1 or 2 distractions en route. Though nothing so far, not even footprints. Hey, there we go. 10 Tusks Camp, with a plethora of orc young. Slightly risky, but potential rookie fodder. Fielding afar on their foray back south, the raiders chance upon another squat village. Rugged tents erected with bones. Decor consisting of splayed rib cages and disemboweled men. Barbarians. Didn't realize they came this far south, Rax muttered, hefting his axe. Those aren't barbarians, Random responded, his eyes darting about furtively. Orcs, Bowman shouted. An arrow hastily loosed, as brutish figures lurched forward, eager for battle. Seeing some orc weapons there. Those are the ones we have to be wary of. The crude cleavers and axes. As I recall, these guys love to charge and stun, akin to the unhold tactics. So we want to engage preemptively when possible. Though I also didn't realize this terrain would slow us down. It does make things a mite bit more problematic. Yeah, this is awkward. We're going to take some stuns, but hopefully we can dish out some serious damage before we do. The twang of crossbows, the thunk of bolts. One finding its way into a fearsome foe's throat. He staggers and gurgles, but still yet stands. Arrows whistle overhead. The stricken figure flinching. And the rest of the orcs engage. Random sent reeling. Drakiith lunges in, blocking another's charge. Rook impales one, but others rush to fill the gap. Valen splitting another's face. Rax, racked, and reeling. One figure flanks. Promptly met by a volley of projectiles. His bony armor protects his vitals, but he still staggers. Verlin plunges his spear into an orc butcher's side. Cetrus shatters the skull on the north, then begins to circle. Sigmar moves in, wedging a gap. Malafnoy shields a porcine face. And on the south, Arrow takes aim. Oh! Sorry. An errant shot glancing off Random's shoulder. Rax growls, recovering his wits. A skull sent soaring. Though blood does pulse alarmingly through his sundered chain. Val backs him up. A quick toss, felling another foe, buying the bloodied warrior some breathing room. Mark finally fells the flanker, his form festooned with blood-flecked feathers. More projectiles volley. Oh, goodness. Rax once again sent reeling as the second wave arrives. Random flailing crushes a nose. Verlin methodically mauls a foe. Sigmar savages another. 2 orcs break. Malafnoy cuts one down, kicking his corpse clear. And the fight tilts decidedly in the Raiders' favor, though they're not out of the woods just yet. Val cuts down another. Heavy axe hewing deep. The crossbowmen advance. A careful shot from Mark, lancing another larynx. A glancing hit from Alois as well. As Drakiith wrenches another foe in twain. Rook runs yet another through. Then moves to back up Random. Cetrus shatters a hand. Malafnoy distracts a bludgeoner. And Verlin spears one more. Random flails away at his final foe. Ribs bruised, elbow fractured. Rax hacks down the last on him before stumbling back to catch his breath. And the rest of the raiders move in. A shot from Arrow impaling a hand. Mark a foot. The foe partially defeated. Val grabs for his javelins. Another foe felled, sagging obscenely against the spear, jutting through him. And the final orc flees. His allies felled behind him. One to Cetrus's hammer. The other presumably to Random. And Warrior is unleashed. The hirsute brute charges, running down the fleeing foe. As Random fulfills the prophecy, felling a foe of his own. Congratulations, buddy. Yeah, as long as he fells at least one foe in a fight against orcs, I think, at this point, it now gives him a chance to fire an event for a short period where he will stop being afraid of orcs. Though, of course, we are ultimately at the mercy of the RNG on that. We've got a number of high-end events that we're waiting to queue up at this point. Cetrus with the cart upgrade. Mark with the bow. Now Random with his epiphany. And I'm sure others I'm forgetting as well. Malafnoy sweeps the final orc's leg at the knee. Foot flopping off a few feet distant. The orc stumbling on its now bloody stump. And Warrior drags him the rest of the way down. Good boy. Which gets us another round of upgrades, including one for Sigmar. Much needed. Though I think Verlin... No, he's not maxed out yet. As for loot, nothing all that notable, but we'll take it. And let's get a gander at those level ups real quick. Sigmar, level 4, that's gifted. We'll take the melee, we'll take the defense, and we will take that resolve. And then as for gifted, pretty much the same deal. Melee, melee defense, and resolve. Which actually puts him pretty well off, relatively speaking. Ah, yeah, and as for Verlin, he is not maxed out, but he is very close. Which actually kind of highlights the fact I don't really know what we're doing with him. I don't think I've actually allocated our last 2 perk points, not for the Shieldman. Could go Fearsome, could go Spear Mastery. We'll take the max defense, we'll take the max range, why not? Try to bump that up towards 10. And let's say... initiative. Bit of a futile effort at this point, but I would like to push him up at least towards 80. Oh, and look at that. Val did hit max level, which means Student is now deactivated, freeing up a perk point and clearing the way for Berserk and Recover. First thrower, fully online. Let the carnage commence. We'll take the max range. We'll take the max initiative, bump that up to 120. And just to keep him extra safe, we'll take that max range defense. And then from here on out, gains will be relatively minimal. Sadly, we're now into legacy levels with him. He's hit the soft cap. So while he can still technically gain levels, subsequent levels will no longer give a perk, and will only give +1 to 3 stats of our choice. No randomized roll, just incremental gain. But hey, better than nothing. Alright, let's push on. I think we've got time for one more. Though it will depend on exactly what we stumble across. Many Orc Young? Sure, why not? Won't count towards our current ambition, but that's a little more practice, a little more XP. Diego tags back in. Sigmar on the bench. We'll cycle a few other folks while we're at it. Okay, let's do this. One last fight for the road. Oh, Forgotten Fort. That could be just about anything. Easy target first. Spying some peculiar ruins. The raiders realized they weren't alone in scouting out this strange spectacle. A group of curious orcs had also taken interest, and took none too kindly to the raiders' sudden presence. It's just orcs. It's just orcs. Random uttered under his breath. Like some strange mantra. Drakiith slanted his gaze towards him, Khopesh clutched in hand. You all right there? You've got my back, right? Yeah. Let me at him, Random said, head tilted forward, horns bobbing comically. Leave him alone. He's fine, Annie grunted simply. Whatever, Drakiith grumbled. His eyes set back to the wall of green. The first orc stumbles and falls, pinned by hand and foot, body splayed on the terrain like one of Erie's entomological displays. Drakiith advances, lazy sweeps of his khopesh, promising a quick end to the unfortunate orc's pain. Alois shoots another orc's leg out from under them, Annie rushing in to capitalize. And Drak decapitates the awkwardly impaled orc. Head sent bouncing across the terrain. Trip comes in from the side. Rondel dagger punching deep. Drak is stunned. Two axes from Val, one splitting an orc's helm, the other buried in its side. Rev takes off the orc's arm. The orc broken in every sense of the word. And the rest of the raiders press the assault. Rook impaling an arm, breaking another orc. Still have some dangerous weapons in back. Alois punches out another knocking knee. And Random finishes two foes. The rest of the pack wavering to broken. The few with fight faltering, an axe finding another's throat. Arrow shoots out another hand. With Trip falling upon the disarmed foe, savagely stabbing till he squirms no more. Alois defaces a foe. Rook impales one more. Verlin lacerates a limb, turning aside the reprisal strike. And as the last few flee, they fall like bloody dominoes. I'll let future retcon sort that out. All that matters for now is that one foe has yet to be bodied. But Drakiith swiftly sets that to right, ensuring he'll come out ahead. Nicely done, Raiders. And at this point, you know what, we're so close to this place. Let's just park ourselves right next to it. That said, obviously we're hitting the pause button for now, but I'll get our guys prepped and we will pick up here next time. As we make a move we may come to regret. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Erie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.